Hello, everyone. I am Joseph Scarpanito, and you are watching Conversation with Joe. This is episode 1. Today, I want to talk about something that has been haunting me. It's about a friend, someone who has survived things most people cannot imagine. Cults, sexual abuse, physical violence, psychological torment so complete it rewired how she sees herself and the world around her. And the question that keeps her awake at night, the question that keeps so many of us awake, is this: why do we stay? Why is it so impossibly hard to walk away from someone who has broken us? And why, even after everything, do we still feel connected to the person who did the breaking? We have a name for this. We call it Stockholm Syndrome. It gets thrown around in movies, in true crime podcasts, in casual conversation. But I want to tell you something that changed how I understand this entirely. Stockholm Syndrome is not real. It is a myth, a carefully constructed PR stunt invented by authorities to avoid accountability for their own failures. And in the process, we have been systematically blaming survivors of abuse for decades. What is real is something far more terrifying and far more understandable. It's called trauma bonding. And it is not a sign of weakness. It is not a mental illness. It is a neurochemical hijacking of your brain. A survival mechanism so powerful it can keep you attached to someone who is actively destroying you. Today, we're going to understand why. August 1973, Stockholm. A man named Jan Erik Olsson walks into a bank, fires a submachine gun into the ceiling, and takes 4 people hostage. 6 days, the whole world watching. And then something happens that nobody can explain. Surprised, the hostages start siding with their captors, not the police trying to save them, the man holding the gun. By the end, when police finally break in with tear gas, the hostages refuse to leave before the robbers. They hug them. They kiss them goodbye. The public was horrified. The authorities were panicking. Because here's what nobody wanted to look at too closely. The police had completely botched this rescue. Their aggressive tactics had terrified the hostages. And 4 people inside that vault had quietly, rationally concluded that the cops were more likely to get them killed than the robber was. So the authorities needed a story that put the broken part on the victims instead of on themselves. A psychiatrist named Niels Bayero gave them one. He invented a term, Stockholm Syndrome. But here's what you need to sit with. That psychiatrist never spoke to a single one of those hostages. Not one. He created a psychiatric diagnosis without ever conducting a psychiatric evaluation. He looked at their behavior and decided they were mentally ill. He decided they were broken. That's not science. That's a cover story. And it stuck for 50 years. When Patty Hearst was kidnapped months later and participated in a bank robbery with her captors, the media applied the term to her case. It became cemented in popular culture as the explanation for why victims side with their abusers, all of it built on a lie. So what was actually happening in that vault? The hostages were not brainwashed. They were not experiencing a psychological break. They were making a rational, calculated assessment of their situation and choosing the survival strategy most likely to keep them alive. Think about it. The robber is keeping you calm. He's providing food. He's not hurting you. Meanwhile, the police are drilling holes in the roof and pumping in tear gas. One of the hostages, Kristen Enmark, actually got the Swedish Prime Minister on the phone. His response was that she should be willing to die at her post. If you're Kristen, who is the real threat? The man with the gun who is keeping you alive? Or the people outside who seem perfectly willing to let you die as collateral damage? The hostages intuitively understood that their best chance of survival was to cooperate with their captors, to build rapport, to keep everyone calm. That's not a mental illness. That is active, brilliant human intelligence keeping itself alive in an impossible situation. But we labeled it a syndrome. We pathologized survival. We stripped these people of their agency, their intelligence, their dignity. We told the world they were broken when they were, in fact, resilient. And we have been doing it ever since. We apply this label to victims of domestic violence. We ask, why didn't she just leave? As if the only explanation is that she's psychologically broken. We apply it to cult survivors, to trafficking victims, to anyone who stays with someone who hurts them. In doing so, we commit a profound act of victim blaming. We shift the focus away from the perpetrator's responsibility and onto the victim's supposed pathology. We ask survivors to explain their survival instead of asking abusers to explain their abuse. Stockholm Syndrome is not a diagnosis. It's a weapon used against survivors. So if that's a myth, what is actually happening? Why do people stay? Why do they feel connected to their abusers? Why is it so impossibly hard to leave? The answer is trauma bonding, and it is real. It is neurochemical. It is terrifying, but it is not a mental illness. Trauma bonding is an emotional attachment that forms through a repeated cycle of abuse, devaluation, and unpredictable reward. The engine that drives it is intermittent reinforcement. Think about a slot machine. If it paid out every time, you'd get bored and walk away. If it never paid out, you'd leave immediately. But because it pays out sometimes, unpredictably, randomly, you become addicted. You cannot stop pulling the lever. The anticipation is too powerful. Abusive relationships work exactly the same way. It is not bad 100% of the time. If it were, you would leave on day one. Instead, there is a cycle. There is tension. There is an explosion. Emotional, physical, verbal. Your body floods with cortisol. You are terrified. You are in pain. And then comes the apology, the tears, the promises it will never happen again. The abuser suddenly becomes the attentive, loving person you so desperately want them to be. And when that happens, your brain releases a massive surge of dopamine and oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love hormone. It is the same chemical that bonds a mother to her newborn. The same chemical released when you fall in love with someone who is genuinely good for you. Your brain literally cannot distinguish between the oxytocin of real intimacy and the oxytocin of reconciliation with an abuser. So you become chemically addicted to the cycle. You start confusing relief with love. The abuser becomes the source of both your pain and your comfort. Your brain learns to associate them with survival. This is not weakness, this is neuroscience. This is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do, adapt to survive. But trauma bonding doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens inside a system of coercive control. And to understand that fully, you have to look at how cults operate, because the playbook is identical. Coercive control is a pattern of behavior designed to gain power over another person. Manipulation, intimidation, isolation, domination. It goes far beyond physical abuse. It is psychological warfare, and it follows a sequence. It starts with love bombing. The abuser makes you feel seen, special, understood. They find your deepest vulnerabilities. Maybe childhood trauma, maybe a lifelong feeling of not belonging, and they fill that void completely. They make you feel for the first time like someone truly gets you. Once they have your trust, the isolation begins. Slowly, methodically. They cut you off from your friends, your family, your support systems. They build an us versus them world. Everything outside becomes dangerous, inferior, wrong. You become dependent on them for belonging because they have made sure there is nowhere else to go. Then comes the gaslighting. They manipulate your reality so thoroughly that you stop trusting your own memory, your own perception, your own mind. There's a psychological term for this: perspecticide, the killing of your perspective. You lose the capacity to know what you know. You look in the mirror and don't recognize the person looking back at you. They enforce impossible rules with severe punishments. They control your finances. They monitor your movements. They humiliate you. They use sex as a weapon. They deny you sleep, deny you food. They force you to harm people you love. And through all of it, they are the only source of comfort. They are the only one who understands you. They are the only one who can save you. This is how cults operate. This is how intimate abusers operate. And this is how trauma bonds form. My friend survived this. She survived a cult. She survived sexual abuse. She survived psychological torture. And she is still trying to understand why she feels connected to the people who did it. The answer is not that she is broken. The answer is that her brain did exactly what it was supposed to do. It survived, it adapted, it bonded with the source of both her pain and her comfort because that was the only way to stay alive. I need to say something clearly because this matters. If you are watching this and you have survived abuse, a toxic family, a cult, a coercive relationship, I need you to hear this. You are not broken. You are not stupid. You are not weak. You survived. Your brain did exactly what it was designed to do. You adapted to an impossible, life-threatening situation. You made decisions with incomplete information in an environment designed to destroy you, and you lived. That is not a syndrome. That is resilience. That is strength. The question we need to stop asking is, why didn't you just leave? The question we need to start asking is, what tactics kept you trapped? What systems failed you? How did you survive? What do you need to heal? Because here is the truth. Leaving an abusive relationship is often more dangerous than staying. Abusers escalate when they sense you pulling away. The most dangerous moment for a victim is the moment they try to escape. So when someone stays, it is not because they are broken. It is because they are making a rational assessment of threat and safety. Healing from trauma bonding means understanding this. It means no contact because you are breaking a literal chemical addiction. It means trauma-informed therapy from someone who understands coercive control. It means finding safe people who will not judge you. But mostly, it means radical self-compassion. You have to forgive yourself for doing what you had to do to survive. The loyalty you feel toward the person who conquered you is just a ghost of a survival instinct, and you don't need it anymore. We need to stop using the term Stockholm Syndrome. We need to stop pathologizing survival. We need to stop asking victims to explain their resilience while we let the people who caused the harm walk away without explanation. And we need to ask a bigger question. What kind of society creates conditions where people must choose between staying with an abuser and risking their lives to escape? What systems are failing survivors so completely that staying feels like the only option? Those are the questions that lead to change. To my friend, and to everyone who has survived abuse, coercion, and control, your resilience is not a syndrome. Your survival is not a mental illness. You are not broken. You are here. You are alive. And that is everything. If you know someone who needs to hear this, share it. And if you want to be here for the next conversation, subscribe. I will see you in the next episode.